Coming up on Fulton Today, a new public works initiative aims to prevent sewer spills. We'll explain.
Health representatives from the county and the state host a town forum here at the Sandy Springs City Hall to address the opioid abuse epidemic and the challenging path to sobriety. I'm Brian Robinson and I've got a full report.
And we'll have details on the special election to fill the vacated seat of a longtime commissioner. That and much more starts right now on Fulton Today. Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. We begin with what is proving to be a major epidemic in the county and in the country, opioid abuse. Hoping to decrease the rising numbers, Fulton's behavioral health professionals host a town hall forum to, one, hear concerns from the public, and two, hear how real the struggle is for those who have lived it firsthand. FGTV's Brian Robinson joins us with more on this story. Brian?
Shania, that town forum featured the straightforward conversations of those who once experienced the nightmare of opioid addiction but are now on the long path to recovery. These residents gathered inside the Sandy Springs City Hall to hear about an issue that some have only read about or seen on the news, opioid abuse.
Is it an easy thing to do? Is it something that you're not aware is happening?
That was just one of the audience submitted questions former abusers now in long-term recovery Ryan Cole and Stephanie Kimsey answered during this Together We Are Stronger town hall forum.
Yeah, I get really nervous. I apologize.
Both speakers admitted being nervous about speaking about their painful past, but said those nerves did not compare to what they've been through. Each had different setbacks and both experienced a moment that made them realize they needed help.
After the second overdose, you would think the first overdose would do it, but the second one really did it when I woke up and everything, and the people that I was around and everything, and I was just like, okay, cat's out of the bag. And it was actually the best day because it was, you caught me, just let me heal now.
One of my good friends had passed away and she overdosed, and I just remember thinking, like, I don't want my mom or my dad to have to bury me like that. Like, we're all gonna die, but I don't want to die like that.
The forum also provided the opportunity for county and state behavioral health officials to preview self-produced videos that will be used in public service campaigns to make the public aware about the dangers of opioid abuse. These videos reveal some troubling statistics. The overall overdose death between 2016 and 2017 rose 10.5%. And opioid overdoses have surpassed car crashes as the leading cause of accidental death in the United States.
And it reinforces, why it's so important to try to tackle this epidemic head on and know that, the success stories that sort of can come out of the backside of what can be sort of near tragedies to the beauty of recovery. And that's really what tonight has been, is celebrating that recovery.
Though this forum was held in observance of National Recovery Month, Fulton's Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities leaders' message was help is available all year long, no matter the substance abuse.
If someone is watching and they know a loved one or themselves are suffering with a substance use disorder, please don't hesitate to reach out for help, because what these type of events show you is that you're not alone. There are other people out there suffering every day, and then there are those individuals that have taken the courage to stand up, raise their hand, and say, I need help.
Receiving that help is just what these two needed to turn their lives around so that they can make a difference in someone else's life. Now, if you missed this meeting, the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities is hosting an open house at the South Fulton Service Center next week on the 26th. For more information about that and the services available for those struggling with addiction or other behavioral health challenges, you can call 404-613-7013. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Brian Robinson.
Thank you, Brian. A new county initiative is addressing a real-life environmental health issue. Representatives from the Department of Public Works gathered in Fairburn to show their rehabilitated sewer manholes. The objective of these manhole inserts is to extend the lives of the manholes while preventing stormwater, groundwater, and surface water from getting into our sewer lines. Excess water overwhelms the pipes and treatment plants, which causes those spills and overflows.
We're using a fiberglass insert that will rehabilitate our manholes, make them brand new, a process that used to take us several days. We are now able to accomplish in a few hours. It's a big cost savings, it's a big time savings, but the major benefit is that we're now producing watertight manholes that can even be submerged.
Additional manhole inserts will be installed in low-lying areas and along creeks and rivers in the county. Fulton is the first in the state to use this new design. Fulton residents who need to handle business with Fulton's pretrial services will listen up. The Pretrial Services Division is now located inside the lower level of the Charles L. Carnes Justice Center building. That's the building attached to the Fulton County Courthouse at 160 Pryor Street in downtown Atlanta.
The value of the space is that we're able to bring into the courthouse the pretrial services officers who are instrumental in finding ways in which folks who've been accused of a crime might be released pretrial, get back to families, community, work, school, etc., while still reporting to court and staying out of trouble.
The newly renovated space now provides a designated customer orientation room and seating for nearly 80 people. Pretrial Services helps to determine if an arrestee should be released from jail before a hearing and monitors their actions if they are released. New public safety officers join the sheriff's office as well as law enforcement agencies across Metro Atlanta.
Congratulations, you're now official.
The sheriff's office welcomed 7 new cadets after completing the basic law enforcement certification training course.
Even though it seems like a small number, these 7s are part of many that come through the process on a yearly basis. We are constantly recruiting staff to join the sheriff's office, to join the ranks of the sheriff's office. They are a very, very important part of the sheriff's office.
The 3-month training class took place at the county's Public Safety Training Center. The new recruits took part in firearms training, emergency vehicle operation, and got an overview of the criminal justice procedures.
Training was pretty intense, a lot of long days, long nights, early mornings, but all well worth it in the end.
After the graduation ceremony, the new officers were sworn in and have now started their career development. Meanwhile, the sheriff's office implements a new program that helps some of its population to assimilate while in the system and after their release. FGTV's Daryl Carver explains.
Though they're wearing the standard clothing for all inmates, this group shares one thing many of the other inmates inside the Rice Street facility don't understand.
Maybe this is the life my mom was trying to save me from when she told me that I would never be happy if I chose this lifestyle.
These 31 inmates are graduating from the Journey to Wholeness program. The program incorporates counseling and other coping skills to foster positivity and success for inmates with an alternative lifestyle.
What we want to do is make them feel whole, give them programs so they feel a sense of belonging. We also send them out after they get released from the Fulton County Jail, and they are going to a program called Greater Work Services, where they can continue their training.
The Journey to Wholeness program was created by the Greater Works Social Services Organization. For 18 weeks, the participants learned how to deal with issues like substance abuse, anger management, mental health awareness, and even job readiness.
Surprisingly, our participants have been very engaging, very receptive to the program, and it made it easy for us because they wanted change. And I think the biggest progress that we've made is that we have clients that are going from program compliance to really want to see the best version of themselves, and that's what it's all about.
Program organizers and the staff with the Sheriff's Office say the ultimate goal is for these inmates to apply what they've learned once released and make a difference in the life of someone else. And long after they leave the jail, Fulton's chief jailer explained how the class will always have an ally.
You're always worth something to us. If no one else, to us and each other, you're worth something.
And it's that kind of support that's priceless to these inmates. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Daryl Carver.
And still to come on Fulton Today, lacing up those tennis shoes in honor of a beloved Fulton County Commissioner. It's a part of our district by district coverage next. Fulton's chairman meets with a group of foreign diplomats, and Fulton remembers a longtime beloved commissioner. Here's this week's district by district coverage. We began with Chairman Rob Pitts, who hosts a group of diplomatic representatives during a county-sponsored reception. The at-large commissioner brought together a number of officials from consular offices in Atlanta. According to the state of Georgia's website, over 90 foreign governments have operations in Georgia to promote trade between their countries and the state. The chairman invited them to 103 West for a fellowship all about business.
And the reason it's important is because most of the probably 98% of the offices are located within Fulton County. But the fact is, we've not done anything to recognize them, to show our appreciation for them being in Fulton County.
Consular offices help develop economic, commercial, scientific, and cultural relations between the foreign governments they represent and the southeastern U.S.
We are very happy that we have this welcoming southern hospitality in Atlanta and in Fulton County and in Georgia. So I'm really looking forward to continuing working on strengthening our relations.
Atlanta has always been an international city, and it's the Consular Corps that has enabled us to recognize the fact that we are interdependent on, well, I think there are almost 1,000 German companies here, and they probably create close to 1 million jobs. I think that we probably need to do this almost every quarter. Not for entertainment purposes, but to be able to assess the business trends in the world and how our governments can assist them.
Consular officers safeguard the interest of their native country or territory and its citizens traveling or residing in their districts. Well, it's time to mark your calendars for the annual walk run in memory of the former District 4 Commissioner. The third annual Joan P. Garner Walk and Health Fair will be Saturday, October 5th at Washington Park. Known as the Health Commissioner, the late commissioner championed various health issues on behalf of all Fulton residents. Her former chief of staff and now Commissioner Natalie Hall is keeping that tradition alive.
This will be an opportunity that citizens will come out, walk, get information about health care, breast cancer awareness, all of the things that were so important to her that we can continue to pass along to, like I said, our community as well as a lot of people in that area.
The free event from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. will include health screenings and information, warm-up activities, and much more for the whole family. You can register using Eventbrite. And finally, District 6 residents try to decide who will fill the Fulton County District 6 Board of Commissioners seat and the Atlanta Board of Education District 2 seat. To see the election results, you can visit fultonelections.com. Meanwhile, the Board of Registration and Elections certifies final votes to make the election official. And board members had already set the date for a runoff, which is October 15th.
Early voting for the runoff will commence on October 7th. It'll conclude on October 11th. We will use the same locations that we used for the September election. We'll be at C.T. Martin, East Point Library, Fairburn Library, the South Service Center, and the Fulton County Government Center.
Again, to get the details of the election, just visit fultonelections.com. And still to come, what environmental health experts say we should do now that West Nile virus has been found in the county. Stay with us. Some weeks back, we helped to sound the alarm from Fulton's environmental health team about the dangers and the presence of the West Nile virus in the county. And then came word of Fulton's first human case. So where do we stand now? Are we in the clear, or should residents still be on alert? Eli Jones is the Deputy Director of the Fulton's Environmental Health Division of the Board of Health. Sir, welcome back to Fulton Today.
Hi, Shania. Thank you for having me.
All right, so we got a report some days back about a human case of West Nile. Can you tell us about that case?
An individual, a 44-year-old female from Fulton County, did test positive. Her medical provider contacted the epidemiology department at the Board of Health. When that happens, then environmental health is informed. We immediately contact our contractor to go out and do additional spraying in the area. We sent out all of our staff to educate all the citizens in the area of precautions with West Nile virus.
And Eli, remind everybody what they should still know about protecting themselves.
With the West Nile virus and the mosquitoes that carry it, from dusk to dawn is when the highest activity and the highest probability of getting bit is. So that's when you need to take the most precaution. You want to wear long sleeves, long pants, use mosquito repellent with DEET in it. Protect yourself at all times.
So, sir, are we still in the season for West Nile, and if so, when does it end?
Yes, we are very much still in the season. It's very active. As long as it's hot outside, the mosquitoes will be on the move and be biting. As long as the heat is there, everything's going to be active. Usually, typically, when it cools off in the fall, maybe October is when stuff tends to die down.
And before you go, give us some tips.
Always do tip and toss. That's the tip and toss campaign through Georgia DPH. You want to check your area, wherever you rent on, make sure it's not holding any water. That's from anything as large as a bird bath all the way down to the size of a cap that can hold water.
All right, Eli Jones, always great information. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thanks again for having me.
And to report areas of concern or to just get information, contact Fulton's Environmental Health Team. September is National Emergency Preparedness Month, and as many across the country and across the world are experiencing right now, having a plan before an emergency happens can be the difference between life and death. Fulton's Emergency Management Agency activated an information station in the Fulton Government Center to encourage people to develop a plan.
So you'd rather be prepared than not prepared. Already have your plans implemented, your bag, your go bags going, as well as an emergency fund in case that, you might have to relocate. So that costs money. And we also encourage people to maybe having cash on hand, because if the power's out, that means that the ATMs are down as well.
Every family should have a go bag prepared, complete with basic electronics like portable batteries, flashlights, radio, personal needs, including toiletries and meds, paperwork that has copies of a driver's license, Social Security, and medical cards, cash, a first aid kit, and food and drink. Fulton County is offering its workforce assistance in becoming homeowners. The Human Resources team brought in consultants to share the basics of how to acquire a home. The Intro to Homeownership class at the Fulton Government Center provided the step-by-step process, including the benefits and the pitfalls.
A lot of employees feel like they can't afford a home, and what we're doing here is providing them with the foundation so that they'll be able to make an informed purchase and that they feel empowered. And Fulton County has a lot of great programs that they want to bring out to their employees. So, I'm just excited to be a part of it.
I learned a lot. I learned that difference from different types of insurances, PMI insurance, homeowners insurance, down payment costs, FHA loans versus a conventional loans. I learned a lot of things.
Now, according to a national leading property management organization, there are more renters today than at any other time over the past 50 years. 64.4% is the current home ownership rate in the United States. And still to come, details on the latest library to close. Stay with us. Another Fulton County library closes its doors for renovations. Beginning this week, the East Atlanta Library on 400 Flat Shoals Avenue will be closed for the next 6 months for extensive renovation work. The library will receive the same aesthetic and technological upgrades other reopened libraries have recently received. Patrons of the East Atlanta Library can use the Peachtree, Martin Luther King Jr., and Ponce de Leon libraries in the meantime. The libraries that are open are celebrating National Library Card Sign-Up Month. A Fulton County Library Card offers patrons access to books, e-books, e-audiobooks, DVDs, CDs, and even reserves meeting rooms. Now, as long as you have proper identification, signing up for a library card is easy to do.
It is important that people go and get their library cards, get them renewed. You know, you have to renew them every single year. To renew the card is very simple. Just come into the library, seek out your local librarian. All you need is a valid driver's license. And make sure, of course, your fines are all paid up. And it's simply just renewing it. It's very easy.
And to learn more, just log on to afpls.org. And finally, Fulton's Arts and Culture Department and the Fulton Films Division solicit input about the booming film industry from industry professionals. The departments hosted multiple discussion groups to better understand the current environment and needs of the industry. Now, that input will be used for a larger cultural action plan being compiled by the arts team. That plan will shape the strategic direction for arts and culture for the next 5 years.
Providing the opportunities and the infrastructure for people to network and meet each other and to create more content here that's Georgia grown rather than having to kind of rely on just completely outside stuff. So just workshops, you know, mixers, networking mixers, just more stuff to get people involved.
There's a lot of energy, there's a lot of desire to create movies, both on the artistic side and on the business side, but there's still a lack of understanding of what it takes to be successful on either side.
Entertainment professionals, students, and vendors that provide services and goods to film projects were invited to take part in the series of interviews and discussion groups. The Fulton Films Office has received over 100 inquiries this year alone about filming in and around buildings owned by Fulton County government. And before we go, our reminder that FGTV wants to connect with you online. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for up-to-date Fulton County news. You can also watch a replay of this show or any other FGTV program anytime on our YouTube channel, so please subscribe. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Shania Chavis Rucker. Thank you so much for watching. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.